Hello there. Let's continue our conversation on Stoicism, going through the moral letters by Seneca. We've arrived at letter 41, and I think this is an interesting one. In this particular edition I have, this ends book 4, and after this we go to book 5. And it's kind of interesting because this is a letter that touches upon some really central Stoic concepts. And it's a little long to read the whole thing, but I will read you some passages. From Seneca to Lucilius, greetings. You are doing what is best and most beneficial for you if, as your letter says, you persevere in moving toward excellence of mind. How silly it is to pray for that. It is a wish you yourself can grant. You need not raise your hands to heaven. You need not beg the temple keeper for privileged access, as if a near approach to the cult image would give us better hearing. The God is near you, with you, inside you. I mean it, Lucilius. A sacred spirit dwells within us and is the observer and guardian of all our goods and ills. However we treat that spirit, so does the spirit treat us. In truth, no one is a good man without God, or is there anyone who can rise superior to fortune without God's aid? It is God who supplies us with noble thoughts, with upright counsels. In each and every good man resides a God, which God remains unknown. So I skip a little bit here. So if you see a person undismayed by peril and untouched by desire, one cheerful in adversity and calm in the face of storms, someone who rises above all humankind and meets the gods at their own level, will you not be overcome with reverence before them? Will you not say, something is there that is so great, so exalted, that we cannot possibly believe it to be the same kind as that paltry body it inhabits? I skip a bit here. So what mind is this? It is one that shines with a good that is its own. Do we praise a person for qualities belonging to someone else? What could be sillier than that? Do we marvel at possessions that can be transferred to another at a moment's notice? What could be more foolish? A golden bridle does not improve the horse. The tamed lion with his gold-encrusted mane, harried into submission and loaded down with trinkets, is goaded on by its handlers. How different is he spring of the wild lion? So, how different is the spring of the wild lion whose spirit is unbroken? Surely he fears in the attack as nature intended. He, with his rugged splendor that has no ornament but in the terror of the beholder, is superior to that other languid, gilded creature. No one should glory except in what is his own. We commend the vine only if its branches are laden with grapes, if it bears so heavily that the stakes cannot support it. Would anyone really prefer the vine that is hung with golden fruit and golden leaves? Fruitfulness is the distinctive excellence of the vine. Similarly, in a human being we should praise that which belongs to him. So what if he has attractive slaves, a lonely home, vast plantations, substantial investments? All these things surround him. They are not in him. Praise in him that which nothing can take away and nothing can confer, that which is distinctive about the human being. Do you ask what that is? It is the mind, and rationality perfected within the mind. For a human being is a rational animal. Hence his good is complete if he fulfills that for which he is born. But what is it that this rationality requires of him? The easiest thing of all, to live in accordance with his own nature. It is our shared insanity that makes this difficult. We push one another into faults. And how can we be recalled to health when all people drive us forward and no one holds us back? Farewell. A lot of interesting things he says here, I think. First of all, I really like the statement of if you wish to be excellent, you can't make that contingent upon others. That excellence is within you. It always has been. You just have to bring it out. And when I say just have to bring it out, it's not like that's easy, is it? It's very hard. Being the best version of yourself you can be is very, very hard. But it is on to you. You have to be able to do that. Because if it is not you who brings out the best in yourself, who else will? Random passers-by in the street? Do you think someone who cuts you off in traffic is going to bring out the best in you? Or someone who calls you a name or leaves you a nasty YouTube comment? Or who chastises you, or who is mean about you, or who gossips about you? These are not the people you can rely on. Even your mentors, people that you respect, the people that help you out, at the end of the day, they can only do so much. You have to take the final steps to be that best version of yourself. They will not create that. You create that. You do that thing. You make that version of yourself. You determine who you want to be. I quote one of my favorite Marcus Aurelius quotes: "Stop debating what it means to be a good man. Be one." And of course, these days we would use gender-neutral language. Stop debating what it means to be a good person. Be one. It's not hard to know what the right thing to do is. We all know, we just don't do it, or we don't do it all the time, or we hardly ever do it. But we know out of two options, we know that if we have the option between lying or telling the truth, we know that telling the truth is the better thing, but we don't always do that. We know that not gossiping about someone is better than gossiping about them, but we gossip anyway because it's so much fun. You have to make a choice. No one else will do it for you. And if you make the choice to do the right thing, how can your life be disappointing? Because even if everything comes crashing down, the company that you've worked so hard to build up, it collapses entirely. But you've done the right thing. You've been ethical in the way you build up that company. You've tried to do the right thing. You've been good to any employees, whatever the case may be. Yes, the company didn't work out, but you did the right thing. And if you did the right thing, what else can you do? You've done the right thing. And then you can truly say, it wasn't me. I did what I could. I did everything the way I should have done, and it still didn't work out. Okay. Well, that's fair, isn't it? Then you have done every single thing that you could do. And he continues, I very much enjoy this one. So if you see a person undismayed by peril and untouched by desire, one cheerful in adversity and calm in the face of storms, someone who rises above all humankind and meets the gods at their own level, will you not be overcome with reverence before him? That is the Sophos. That is the sage that the Stoics say we should aspire to be. That's the person we should emulate. For them it was Socrates. But pick who you like, right? And then emulate that person. Be that person. If you can be that, if you can be undismayed by peril, untouched by desire, cheerful in adversity and calm in the face of storms, how could you possibly be unhappy if you can do all those things? Now, is that easy? No, I didn't say that. But if you work towards that, things can happen. I'm sorry to, I fear that I used this example to death, but I'll use it once again. Going to the post office used to drive me insane. Insane. You're in line for a long time. Everybody has 20 follow-up questions. There's the one dude who has 79 different parcels to mail, all to different people, and the address in 73 of them was wrong. That is infuriating. But not anymore. I've become much better at that. Much better. Not perfect, because nobody is perfect, but most of the time I can say with my hand on my heart, I can go to the post office, I can see the dude with his 79 parcels, and I can smile at it. I say, well, here we go again. Good thing I allotted 30 minutes for this. And then it turns out that super efficient, it only took 10 or 15 minutes, right? But that's that. Undismayed by peril, untouched by desire, cheerful in adversity, calm in the face of storms. If that is not the most poetic way to sum up Stoicism, I don't know what is. It's all those things. and you work on those things, and you will fail. A lot of the time you will fail because you're a human being. But as long as most of the time you're doing pretty well, you've made leaps and bounds of progress. Progress is enough. It's all you want. You will never be perfect, but you can say, okay, well, I handled the post office a little better this time. The guy cut me off in traffic, and I usually would swear, but now I was like, okay, it's another one. If you can do that, you've made so much progress. There's so much to be proud of. And again, you won't do it all the time, but it starts off, at least in my case, and I forgive me for sharing this personal part of a journey, but for me it started off with at some point being in a post office and being fine. And walking out, I was thinking, whoa, what was that? And that's when it starts. You notice that what you're trying to practice in a Stoic sense is taking hold. And that's a massive, massive amount of positive reinforcement. The next time you think, okay, I could do it last time. Let's see if I can do it again. And then it becomes easier and easier. It's the opposite of a vicious cycle. And I don't know what that is, so I'm going to call it a virtuous cycle. It starts with small things, but it gets bigger and bigger. And at some point, things become so much easier. And it's amazing. Finally, we have this beautiful end. Praise in him that which nothing can take away, nothing can confer, that which is distinctive about the human being. Do you ask what that is? It is the mind, and rationality perfected within the mind. For a human being is a rational animal. Skipping a bit here. What is it that this rationality requires of him? The easiest thing of all, to live in accordance with his own nature. That is, right? Live in accordance. That was Zeno. And then Cleanthes, well, actually what he meant was live in accordance with nature. Understand things will happen. Stoicism is not about never being angry, because sometimes it's righteous to be angry. It's not about never being sad. Some things in life make us sad. It's also not about never being happy. You can laugh. That's okay too. Nobody ever really complains about the positive emotions, do they? No one ever said, I was just too happy today. Nobody ever says that, right? Thought it would be funny. Sort of sour person. I was too happy today, and I was too happy today. Nobody ever says that. Or people all the time they say, I was too angry today. I was too frustrated. I was too sad. Stoicism is about learning to control those things. Not so that you're never angry or sad or frustrated, but so that you can step back from it as soon as it happens and calm down and not let it affect you negatively. And the more you do it, again, as positive reinforcement, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You just have to do it. You have to start. You have to be diligent in this. And then what is happening is you are acting in accordance with nature. I do go to the post office and there's a lineup of 15 people. Well, I have two options, don't I? I can turn around and come back tomorrow, or I can say I'm going to stay in line. But if I choose to stay in line, I must accept I'm going to be there for a while. That is nature. At that time, that is nature. That is the state of the universe. There are 15 people in front of me. And one of them, I know for a fact, is going to have a really difficult problem and it's going to take a while to solve. But if I accept that, and I cannot be frustrated, but just think, okay, there's always one. It's kind of funny. I bet you it's going to be at least one. It becomes kind of a joke. It becomes funny. Nothing, I found, is as powerful as humor in combating anger, frustration. It just, if you can sort of joke with yourself about those kinds of things, the things that frustrate you, your frustration dissipates. It's not just like before the sun. It's like snow in the Kalahari Desert. Gone. Amazing. Those things work. Act in accordance with nature. If you try to go against the universe, why is it always this busy at the post office? Why is it always this busy when I'm here? Why is there always the one asshole who has the difficult problem and just keeps going? Why is this not much simpler? Because that is not the state of the universe. This is the state of the universe. Accept that this is what it is right now and that it is no other way. That is not the same as lying down meekly and just taking the beating. It is a matter of understanding right now there is nothing I can do to change this. I see the person before me. I know he has 5 separate parcels to ship. I know right now one of those is misaddressed. Undoubtedly, there's a mistake in that address. The zip code is wrong or it was forgotten. I can guarantee it. But I can't change it. So that's the state of the universe. It's okay. Everything is going to be all right. And when you can do that, which I can't do all the time, but I can do a lot more than I used to be able to, everything changes. Everything becomes so much easier. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. That is really true. It is a matter of practice. It works a lot. It works well, sorry. That's what I have. So I would say, think about these things. Let me know what you think. I thought there were some really nice core Stoic principles in here to briefly discuss it once again. Give me thoughts, feedback, ideas. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week for more talk about Stoicism. 17 minutes.